what is going on? Blossom is back, and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives, and of course another episode of RQR. Now, in yesterday's video, we talked about the RQ increases when it came to the rarity, and now we're going to be talking about the RQ decreases when it comes to the rarity. So, what cars should go down in RQ, and what cars should even drop out of the rank as a whole? We start off today's episode with probably the most direct comparison, and that is going to be the Ford Mondeo, and of course, we'll be comparing it to another Ford Mondeo. Now, the Ford Mondeo used to be RQ38, and in the most recent update it went up to 39, and it makes absolutely no sense to me because it is just the worst version of the 2017 Ford Mondeo. So I do believe that the Ford Mondeo over here shouldn't get a massive downgrade, but it should go back to where it came from RQ39 back to RQ38, getting a -1 deduction. Straight off the bat, I mean, just compared straight up to the Ford Mondeo over here. Now, I know it has 4 more miles per hour for a top speed, but who the actual hell cares? The Ford Mondeo handles better. It has the same 0 to 60, similar MRA. 62.88 isn't really good to start off with, and at the end of the day, the Ford Mondeo is just a better car because it handles just slightly better. It is better in every way. Another example would be the Chrysler 200 CEV. Although it doesn't have as good of a handling as the Ford Mondeo, look at the 0 to 60 difference. It's 8.3 to 6.9. The 2017 Ford Mondeo, although it handles well, although it's in a state and it's medium ground clearance and it's standard tires, I never really thought that it was an RQ39 that was too incredibly strong for its RQ, and that's why it wasn't featured in yesterday's episode. I think it's a pretty decent RQ39, great handling, but the 0 to 60 really kills it when you compare it to cars like the Chrysler 200C, which is what, like 1.6 seconds faster. What I'm trying to say over here is that there's a direct comparison between two Ford Mondeos. One is clearly better, therefore none of them or both of them shouldn't be in the same RQ. The next one is going to be a suggestion by Corn, and if you want to suggest for any RQ increases or decreases for any rarities that I'll be doing in the future for the series, let me know down in the comments below, and of course I would give you credit as well. So Corn said that the Nissan Silvia K does not deserve to be an RQ39, and how can I doubt the guy? He is literally a Japanese, he's a Japanese specialist, okay? He's a specialist of Japan. So over here, I think it should get an RQ deduction of 1 from 39 to 38, and the main reason is this: when it comes to Japanese cars and Japanese rares, when you want to use a twisty Japanese car, it's going to be the BBR Turbo any day of the week. But the Silvia K, in my eyes, is a bit more of a twisty, not really a twisty, but more of a hybrid looking car. So let's say that we don't talk about the BBR. How is this Silvia K as a hybrid Japanese car? Well, let's compare it directly to the Mazda MX-5, which is another Japanese hybrid car. Now, the Silvia has 58.95 MRA and no traction control. The MX-5 has better MRA, I believe it's 62, and it even has traction control and ABS, not to mention that the MX-5 is also lighter compared to the Silvia K. That being said, the Silvia does have a lower 0 to 60 and slightly better handling and a higher top speed, but I don't think that, you know, these two cars are kind of going blow for blow over here, you know what I mean? The Mazda has its niches and quirks and positives, and so does the Silvia, so I don't think that two RQs separating both these cars make any sense. The Mazda MX-5, in my opinion, is the quintessential RQ37. I think it's perfect where it is. I don't think it should go down. I don't think it should go up. The Silvia, however, should go down, although it has slightly better on-paper stats compared to the MX-5. I don't think 2 RQ is justified for these two cars. I think the Silvia having 1 RQ more than the MX-5 is generous enough. Once again, comparing the Silvia to another hybrid that isn't Japanese, just another hybrid car in general, the Chevrolet it's not Corvette, but the Chevrolet Code 130R, much better MRI on the Code, the same handling, worse 0 to 60, and a worse top speed. But when you put these two cars on the test bowl, the Chevrolet Code 130R is going to win. So because of that, I do believe that the Silvia K should move down to 38, maybe even 37, but I'm going to say 38 for now. Moving on is going to be these two absolute pieces of crap. Now, once again, I think the day before yesterday's video, we were talking about how Hutch was going to, you know, stop weighting high top speed so much. And these two cars are basically victims of cars that are oversaturated or overinflated in their RQ because of their top speeds. Look at this over here, okay? 149 and 147. They both don't handle, however, and look at their MRAs. You're telling me that these are upper echelon rares, both at RQ39. Now the Signum, although it's 38, it's an outdated picture, it's 39 in the game. You're telling me that these two upper echelon, top of the class range rares in the game, you know, deserve their rankings with 49.14 MRA and 47.69? Here's the thing. They got a high top speed. Maybe you can put it on a test bowl in the rain, but that's really really all you're going to put it there for. Their 0 to 60s aren't the weakest things in the world, you know, compared to the Mondeo, it is low, but they don't handle, okay? They're medium ground clearance, but they don't handle. So I don't think that they should get a mega deduction like -5, but I think they should get a pretty decent deduction of -2. So if I'm 39 to 37, I think that just makes sense. Moving on now, massive negative deductions is the BMW 325i. This thing is a piece of crap. Not only does it lack the high speed that at least the 607 and the Signum brings to the table, it also doesn't handle, and the 0 to 60 is even worse. I have no idea why the BMW 325i is RQ39. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm going to compare it to a 38 and 36. First of all, it is just a all-round worse car compared to the Chrysler PT Cruiser, and that is sad. The Chrysler PT Cruiser has better MRA, a better 0 to 60, and it handles even better as well. Yeah, the top speed is lower, but once again, is the BMW 325 a testable car? Is the BMW 325i a drag car? Absolutely not. The 0 to 60 is absolutely atrocious. The thing is absolutely a piece of crap. The BMW i3S, let's compare it to this one. 3RQ less, way lower 0 to 60 by 0.8 seconds. The same handling. The BMW i3 is lighter, more nimble. It's a better car in the city streets, and the city streets small. The BMW 325i is an absolutely piece of crap. I think it should move down and get a massive deduction of -4, going from 39 to RQ35. This thing definitely does not deserve 39. Even the car in the background in this BMW 325i picture, probably some kind of Opel, I believe, is a better car than the BMW. Moving on now is the Fiat 124 Spider. It's got the MRA, don't get me wrong, it's got the MRA, but it doesn't have the top speed, okay? For RQ38, just ain't good enough. I would put it in that same, you know, hybrid area in RQ37 alongside the MX-5. That makes more sense because the MX-5, what it lacks is the MRA, but it gains in the 0 to 60. The Fiat 124 has the MRA, but lacks in the 0 to 60. These two cars are a lot more similar than you think that they, than Hutch thinks that they are. They're both convertibles. I really can't speak today, can I? They're both convertibles with the same top speed and the same handling. One just has a better 0 to 60. One has the better MRA. In my opinion, both of them should be RQ37. And then I'm comparing it to the Chevrolet Code once again because the Code is just the all-round better RQ38. It's got the lower 0 to 60, the better handling, the better MRA. Well, actually, the MRI is about the same, to be fair. But yeah, the Chevrolet Corvette. I don't know why I think it's a Code. I think it's because I see Code, I see CO, and Corvette is CO. But yeah, the Code is just a better RQ38. Now, moving on is going to be the Pontiac Vibe GT. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't vibe with the Pontiac Vibe at all. I think it should get a negative deduction of -2. RQ37 at 35. I mean, over here, direct comparisons would be the DS3, which handles a lot better, and the Dodge Grand Caravan, which has a way lower 0 to 60 for the same RQ. Moving on now is the Honda CR-V. Now, I mean, look, four-wheel drive, all-surface tires, you gotta pair that with good handling. I don't care about the low 0 to 60. I don't care about the top speed or going over 100. If you don't have that, you know, combination of handling, four-wheel drive and all-surface tires, much like standard tire four-wheel drive cars, then you ain't worth it in my opinion, okay? So the Honda CR-V got no MRA. The 0 to 60, although it's low, I mean, it ain't no Dragster, it ain't no Trailblazer SS. I'm gonna compare it to two cars over here with the Suzuki Vitara, which is the same RQ as the Honda CR-V. I know the 0 to 60 is way worse, but the Vitara is lighter and handles so much better. I mean, it's 9 handling better. And then you have the Nissan Terrano, a car at 38 RQ. I do believe that it has gone down the ranks. I think it's at like 35 or something like that. But once again, the car handles a lot better. In my opinion, if you are an all-surface tire four-wheel drive car and you do not handle, then you do not deserve the RQ that you probably have in the game right now. One thing about rares, right, is that a lot of standard tire and all-surface tire cars are kind of out of place. Next one is going to be the Dodge Charger GLHS. I love Dodge and I love Chargers, but I don't know why the hell this thing is an RQ35. I think it should get a deduction of -2 from RQ35 to 33. And you know, the worst thing about the Charger GLHS is, you know, it's RQ35, the same RQ as the Di Tommaso Longchamp, and the Charger actually makes the Longchamp look good, because not only do they share the same 0 to 60, the Longchamp handles better, a higher top speed, and has better MRA. And then you have the Plymouth GTX, which is a car that is 4 RQ less, got way lower 0 to 60, similar top speeds. I know that the GTX doesn't handle, but what do you really expect from this Charger? Do you think that it's going to be be a dragster? Do you think it's going to be a twisty car? Definitely doesn't handle as well as, the twisty cars in its, competitive pool. And it also doesn't have the 0 to 60 either, because in comparison to the GTX, a car that is, 4 RQ cheaper is got a way lower 0 to 60. So Dodge Charger is in this weird situation where it just isn't good enough anywhere where it is. It's a hybrid, but it misses all the marks. I think it should get a deduction of -2, bring it down to 33, and then maybe we'll talk. But right now, it's making a Di Tommaso Longchamp look good, and the Di Tommaso Longchamp isn't even a great RQ35, which is really sad. Alright, next up, the Bentley Mulsanne Turbo. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. 72 MRA, but it's one of the heaviest rares in the entire game, coming in at 2,250 kilograms. I think it should get a deduction of -4, bringing it down to an entry-level rare. I think it is perfect over there. It doesn't handle, the top speed isn't the highest in the world, and the 0 to 60 isn't the best. A direct comparison from the Bentley Mulsanne Turbo is going to be with the Jaguar XJ12. The Jaguar XJ12 is cheaper in RQ, it's got a higher top speed with the same 0 to 60 and better MRA. What do you want me to say? I mean, if you think the Bentley Mulsanne Turbo is a drag standard tire car, then I will argue that the Jaguar XJ12 is a better one. Because it is. It's got a higher top speed, the same 0 to 60, better MRA, and it's cheaper to use. So obviously the Jag is going to be the better option over here. And then we have the Volkswagen Jetta, okay? RQ30, very quintessential RQ30, I would say, and it handles so much better. We're talking a 4 RQ difference, and the Jetta handles 6 RQ more, or not 6 RQ, but 6 points more than the Bentley Mulsanne Turbo. What do you want me to say about the Bentley Mulsanne Turbo? Is it a dragster? No, it's going to lose to the Jag. Is it a twisty car? No, it's going to lose to the Jetta. This thing's a piece of crap, especially the RQ34. Bringing it down to RQ30 would do it a little bit of justice. At least then you can say it's worth the RQ. Moving on now, the Subaru Legacy. Not going to talk about this one too much because this was also featured in yesterday's episode. But in yesterday's episode, it was about making the Nissan Wing Road look good. Today is about making the Subaru Legacy look bad. I think it should go down to uncommon from 31 to 29. The handling just isn't there. Look, if you missed the handling for a 4-wheel drive standard tire car, I'm sorry, but that is your entire resume destroyed, burned up in flames. And then we have the Peugeot 605. Piece of crap this thing is. 49.9 MRA. It doesn't handle, literally a worse version of the Bentley Mulsanne Turbo. Bentley Mulsanne is 7569. This is 7469. But look at the MRA. 49.9 to 72. That is a 30 MRA difference. Okay, not a 30, but more than 20 MRA difference, which is just absolutely atrocious. I think it should get a mega downgrade from RQ33 to RQ29, bringing it into the uncommon rarity. I think it should get out of rare, kick it out of rare, okay? When I think of a 605, when I think of a hybrid, car that is uncommon with standard tires, I think of the Jaguar XJ12. And you put these two cars side by side, and as you can see, the Peugeot 605 does have the superior handling and the superior 0 to 60 compared to the Jaguar XJ12. So, in some sense, the Jaguar XJ12 should also go down. I think that the Peugeot should go down to 29, the Jag maybe down to 28, or maybe even 27. But I will say this, the Jag has a similar top speed to the Peugeot 605, and the Jag has way better MRA, probably about by 15 or 16. And then you have the Chrysler 300 Hurst. No 0 to 60 in this car, but no handling in this car, but the 0 to 60 is better than the Peugeot 605, okay? And this is RQ28 compared to an RQ33 in the game right now, okay? So better 0 to 60 in the Chrysler 300 Hurst, similar top speed, 140 to 146, and the Chrysler has way better MRA. So if you wanted to use the Peugeot on the drag, you might as well save 5 RQ and use the Chrysler 300. You want to use a hybrid only to lose by 50? Why use the Peugeot 605 when right now you can save 4 RQ and use the Jaguar XJ12. At the end of the day, I think the Peugeot should go down to uncommon, back to 29, Jag down to 28, the Chrysler can stay where it is. And now we talk about additional deductions, some other rare cars that just don't deserve to be where they are right now in their RQ. So we have the Citroen Grand C4, the Jaguar XJC, the Jaguar XJS, the Lancia Delta, the Kappa, and of course the Vauxhall and the Mercedes-Benz. As you can see, 7 out of the 9 cars that you see over here are standard tires, and like I said, they got a problem with standard tire rares, okay? A lot of these rares are overinflated in their RQ. Once again, it's mainly because of their top speed, okay? The Jag 150, the Jaguar XJS 143, the Mercedes-Benz E220, decent MRA, but the 0 to 60 is atrocious and it's 137 top speed, and the Vauxhall Vextra 143. So we know for a fact already that a lot of these high top speed cars are going to drop in RQ. So I'm going to see a lot of these Jags and these Vauxhalls and the Mercedes Mercedes all drop, maybe 2, even 3. So expect the Jaguars to maybe even fall out. The one over here, the RQ32, this might even go up down to being an uncommon. I mean, 7566 compared to 8066. Like I said, the XJ12 probably has to go down, but the XJC is going to go down as well. If not, it might go down to 30 or 31. XJS, I can see this as a 35 or a 34. Lancia Delta definitely needs to go back to uncommon. It used to be uncommon. It went up to ultra rare. It was ultra rare. Went up to rare. Makes absolutely no sense to me. That should go back down. Honda Kappa should go down as well. Just doesn't handle. Di Tommaso DeVille, once again, only reason why your RQ30, outdated picture, I know it says 31, but it's 30 in the game, is probably because of that top speed. But I gotta say, man, two things that really annoyed me is this Volkswagen Polo and the Mercedes-Benz. I really don't understand why this is 38 and 39, because respectively both of these cars have disgusting 0 to 60. They don't handle particularly very well. The MRAs are above average, but like it's still not a standout in my opinion. I don't think that they deserve the RQ that they get. But anyway, guys, that is going to be my wrap up for the rares. We've seen the increases and now we've seen the decreases. Let me know down in the comments below if you agree with my opinions or not. But with that being said, I hope you found this video helpful and informative. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair, don't care, look like Leslie Brooks. Pin up girls everywhere with the drop dead look. Swing it side to side as we slow dance to the night, when I'll hold your perfect hand and take you out just for a ride. Wish our